Welcome, welcome back to Crafting a Meaningful Life. It doesn't matter what age you are. You could be in your 20s, you could be in your 80s. And it's never too early, it's never too late to start crafting that meaningful life. If I get one response on my social media more than anything else, it is, Mary, I want to make sure that I am really in alignment with the life I'm meant to live. And it isn't just a book you open up. It isn't just one day this light that dawns upon you that suddenly you know, well, sometimes it can be, but it's not this light that just comes to you and says, this is your vision for life. It is a slow, steady process of every day crafting the life that we want. And I have an amazing guest today. She's just a young pup. But she is not a young pup, but she looks like a young pup. Like I look like, I don't look like I'm 72. She doesn't look like she's 44. And so welcome to my sweet guest, Lauren Hale. Welcome, Lauren, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you and hang out. This is going to be so fun.
Okay, so Lauren has like 600,000 followers on social media. She clearly is someone worth following. And so at the end of this podcast, please look at the links we've provided for her book and her social media, her website, and all those kind of things, because I know she's someone you're going to want to follow. And the reason for that is that most of the people, not all, but most of the people who listen to this podcast are career women, who are women who are 40 plus and who are going to love this topic. So Lauren, let's start with sharing with my listeners the title of your book.
So this is my new book. It's Girl, Put On Your Lipstick, The World Needs You. It's a guide to living unapologetically and authentically you in your 40s and beyond. So I'm super proud of it. It was one of my goals in life was to write a book, and I did it. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was like something I'm most proud of. So
absolutely. You may get this question because I get it a lot.
Okay.
Mary, if you're like living authentically you and you tell us that you want to be vulnerable and naked in front of people, why do you put on your makeup every day?
I get that a lot.
I thought so. I knew it. So tell me about that.
That's a great question. I always, and I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I've always just preached that makeup isn't what makes you beautiful. Makeup isn't who you are. And I think sometimes, at least I was taught, that makeup kind of defines you. And so on my page, I have never allowed makeup to define me or anyone. I feel like makeup should be fun. It should be, when you're putting it on, it should be a way that you're taking time for yourself. That's my opinion with that. But I also feel like I show up on my social media without makeup all the time. There's days I don't wear makeup, even though my page is a makeup page. And I make sure women know that because it doesn't define you. And I think like social media, the way that women in their 40s and older have kind of been defined is we're either too old to wear makeup, we're too old to show up, or makeup, we need makeup. We need this makeup to cover up things that are happening. And I don't believe that because makeup should be fun. It should be, in my opinion, a way to express yourself. And I think as we get older, we learn more about ourselves. So we learn how we want our makeup to look or how we want to express ourselves. And we actually should have more fun putting it on, which is why I kind of started my page, because there was 20-year-olds showing makeup and I would do the same things. And I'm like, that is not working on my skin anymore. Our skin is changing. Our skin is not the same. And makeup should be fun. It shouldn't be something that you have to wear. And there's a lot of women that follow me that don't wear makeup at all. And they'll try little tricks. And they, like, after a couple of years of following me, they're like, I actually enjoy this. This is kind of fun. This is time for me. And I feel like that's really important, is taking time for ourselves, that self-care part. And makeup can do that. If that's what you want to, you don't have to, right? Like it's a fun thing.
It's not a have to. Yeah.
It's not a have to. It doesn't define us. So
I always say that I do my nails for me.
Yeah.
Because they're the one thing that I see that are me.
Yeah.
My makeup I do for others because I want my face to reflect the joy I feel inside.
Yeah.
I want to reflect that I take time for myself, that I do self-care. And I this is going to go against what you talk about on your page, but I'm going to share it anyway. Okay. So a lot of people, because I get a lot of feed for women who are older, people, can you just imagine how many plus 60 ads I get for every face cream that has ever been produced in the world?
Sure.
But a lot of tips. And one of the tips is, as you age, make sure that you don't use eyeliner and that you don't, you know what I mean? And so I tried that for about a week.
Yeah.
And every time I looked in the mirror, because I have always, my entire life, worn full circle eyeliner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it didn't look like me anymore. I did feel like I was naked.
Yeah.
And so now I do a lot more smudging. I don't use liquid anymore, but I still do. I think that as you walk through that makeup, as you age, Lauren, you do have to kind of personalize it and decide what reflects you. How do you encourage women to find their own personal style?
Yeah, I actually get that same comment a lot because I'll do eyeliner videos. One thing that I really try on my page is to give a lot of tips. And I always say, like, give the tip a try. It may or may not be for you, but it might be a solution you're looking for. And so with eyeliner, for example, things like that, I get a lot of women that are like, I need the black. I need it. Like, that's what I've been using forever. And I'm like, girl, do you? Because that means you love it and you know who you are. Hey. And so I think when you, like with social media especially, we can get really inundated, right? With a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, and fall into that category of like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this because this is being told to me and this is what everyone is doing. It's kind of like everyone, right? It's like go with the crowd. No, you don't have to. And that's really why I show up, is like there's tricks that I'll show that some women will never use, and that's okay, but it might help someone who's struggling with that. So when it comes to makeup, I really, really, truly believe, like, when you look in the mirror, you need to feel like you, and you need to feel like who you are, right? You need to find joy, like you said, when you look in the mirror at your face. So if you're doing something that someone else is telling you to do and you don't feel like you, bag it. Go do what you want to do. I mean, right? There's no really rules. Even though I do pride myself on teaching over 40 makeup tips, there really isn't rules at all. It ultimately comes down to how do you feel the best.
Right.
So wear the eyeliner.
Without fail, Lauren, every time I don't put eyeliner under my eyes and I go with a more of a muted color, like, a light brown or a gray kind of thing on my upper lid, people said, are you not feeling well today? You just don't look yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm not myself.
Like, I don't feel like it. I didn't do what I wanted to do.
So, but I do think that as we age, there are those tips with makeup that can really enhance us, like when I was little, or before I was 50, let's just put it that way. It was just a matter of, putting on the foundation, blotch on a little blush and, a little this and that, and you were ready to go out the door. But I do find myself now using a lot more contour kind of things. Like I have a short little pug nose. And so I swipe that little highlighter right down that nose to make it look a little longer than it is. And I, put a little thing coming there and a little bit more here, a little highlighter there. And those few things that you show older women, really, I don't show any makeup tips. But I love to look at people's pages that offer me some ideas that keep me from, looking sucking, what's the word I want? Sullen. Yes. Yeah. Because I always pride myself that I never had puffy eyes, but now they're sinking.
It happens.
What the monkey? Yeah.
It does. I mean, I think it really comes down to trying things, because makeup shouldn't be boring, right? I think that's why a lot of women stop wearing makeup, is it becomes boring. Or they're looking at the same old way they used to do things and they don't like how it looks now. And so I think offering those tips and tricks, I love looking at other women's pages that are doing things too, because there's always things to learn. You can go try it and hate it, and that's okay, bag that, but you might try something and really like it and be like, I actually want to wear makeup again. This is really fun.
Yeah.
So it really, for me, makeup has changed in my 20s to my 40s on how I look at it. I used to wear a lot heavier makeup. I used to try to cover up a lot more. And I feel like as I'm getting older, I wear less makeup than I used to.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely right. I've changed my foundation. I always wore, well, I don't want to name brand names, but the powder foundation.
Yeah.
And now I use a liquid because it just smooths out a little bit more. It doesn't, and then I make sure I always set it so that it doesn't sink into those lines. And you have to be really careful about what you're using around your eyes because heaven forbid somebody go, look at all those creases in your eyes.
Yeah. It's so true. It is so true. I mean, just things change, right? Like products change. That's what I love about my job is I'm always trying new products and being able to be like, this is a great one to recommend. This one I would not wear, you know?
Right.
And that work for me are not always going to work for other people. And so I think it's kind of a fun, I don't know. I just get to play with makeup. I love that. What a fun job, right?
I love that. That is a great job. I felt like, in my career, I had a catering company and that was for me the greatest career ever. Can you imagine getting able to serve people every day and then get paid for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How great was that?
Finding joy in what you do, right? And knowing that you're in the right place is really, I don't know. It's like such a grateful state to be, I feel like.
So what I'd like to know, I'm curious about, Lauren, is what happened and what led you in your life to decide this is where you wanted to spend your focused time? What brought you to this career?
Such a funny story. So I was a teacher. I was a kindergarten teacher. And I also taught children with special needs. So I kind of came from that. My mom was a teacher for 25 years. So that I knew from a young age, I was going to be a teacher. That was just like, I knew it. I was going to do it. And so I was actually in my dream job, 6 years ago. I was a kindergarten teacher. Loved it. But I had 3 small kids at home and my husband's in the medical profession. So he was working 70 hours. It was a lot. Because my kids were all 8 and under at that point. They went to school with me. It was great. It was like the best situation I could possibly have, but I still didn't feel like I was fulfilling my purpose. And I started looking to other things. I was like, okay, I just felt like I needed to do my own thing. I loved having a boss. Not really. I didn't. I loved my own. I wanted to call the shots. I wanted to have some flexibility. I found that after long hours of teaching, I would come home and I'd be not a good mom because I was so tired from, parenting other people's children and teaching other people's children. I felt like I wasn't being the best that I could be. And honestly, it was like we were in this chaotic state in my family. And so I started thinking, okay, what else could I do that I could still teach because that's a passion of mine, but also have more flexibility. And so I've always loved makeup. Back when YouTube started, I would watch all those tutorials. I would try them out on my friends. I would do all of these things. And my friends thought I was crazy. I'd go to the local Walgreens and get dupes, of the expense. I'm like, we don't need to spend money on this. Let's try the dupes. And so I was always influencing, without knowing I was doing that. So when I turned 39, my skin started changing and all the makeup things that I was using just wasn't working for me anymore. And so I was on hunt for what can I use that's not going to show texture on the skin? What is going to just make me feel like me again? I was in the thick of parenting young children. I didn't have joy. I was exhausted. I just felt so tired. Working all day with other people's children, coming home, and it was just this Groundhog's Day is the best way to describe it for me.
Which happens to be my favorite movie, so there you go.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So you understand.
I got it.
Gosh, I'm waking up, I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I have no joy. I am losing my joy. So anyways, back to the makeup. I decided I found a makeup brand that I loved. And so I was I'm just going to for fun, just start on social media and just teach tips. And I couldn't even write a Facebook status. I had no clue what I was doing at all. So if that tells you where I started, I had 300 followers and they were all just like friends. It wasn't like anyone.
Yeah, right,
you know.
right.
So I showed up, and what I hated about social media was that everybody I was watching to learn, like I had all these problems, right? Like I had dry skin and my makeup felt flaky on this skin and all of these things. And I would watch 20-year-olds and I would be like, that's not working. And they're using filters. So I didn't see my skin represented. And I felt like there's got to be someone who feels okay showing up on social media in that 40-year-old range without makeup and showing these tips, because our skin has changed. Like I remember my makeup being patchy on my nose. So I'd go watch YouTube trying to figure it out and it wouldn't work. So anyways, I just started showing up, and I would love to say that it just like took off and it was great, but no, it was a long process. But I got to a point where I was able to quit my teaching job and stay home with my children and still like make videos and do the things that I loved. And so I started kind of having my own business, which was great because I could be flexible, and then I could still be at my kids' sports activities, or I wasn't exhausted by the end of the day because I had more flexibility and I wasn't just running. So after about 2 years of showing up online, I had a video go viral. It was the first time. I always tell people, if you are like wanting to do this takes time. Like you can't just think your first video is going to go viral and you're going to just make it and be, you know, I don't think you ever make it. I think it's always just like showing up. But 2 years into it, I had to make a video go viral, and Good Morning America contacted me. And yeah, it was crazy. And they came to my small town and filmed at my house.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Yeah, so they wanted someone in their 40s to represent, because no one was talking at that time. Now we see so many women over the age of 40, which is so cool to me, but no one was. And so they came to my house, did a filming session, which I had no clue what I was doing, but I jumped in. I was like, who gets this opportunity? And it kind of just took off from there. I think I gained 150,000 followers. And so everything just took off. And so I just was like, okay, this is where I'm meant to be. And yeah, that's kind of that to me. That's the start of my story, because I finally believed in myself. It took a long time. A lot of people coming onto my page saying I looked old, and just how it is with social media.
I do. People can be so cruel, and the biggest tip that ever helped me with that was understanding that when people say negative things, it's not about you at all.
No.
It's a reflection of how they feel about themselves.
100%.
So I had this tremendous empathy for those people, that they saw themselves as less than, and so they needed me to be less than.
Yeah.
So they could look more than.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And it's sad. It's really sad to me. I think sometimes social media can trigger people. Certain people can trigger people, just like you said, to see things in themselves that maybe they don't love. And so they don't want you to love that about yourself, or hurt people, that saying, And so social media has been amazing, though, because I feel like I was such a people pleaser that over time I've learned I don't have to please people. And if people don't like me, it is okay. Not everyone is going to like me. I am not for everyone. And I think if I hadn't been on this social media journey, it might have taken me a lot more time. I probably still would be in that spot. But because I've been in this business where people are keyboard warriors, or, I've lost friends in the process of doing this because they, weren't super excited for me, or they didn't see the best in me. I've grown to be okay with being alone and being happy with myself and not needing all of that, And so I think there's just like so much goodness when you fall into what your purpose is.
I love that, Lauren. And I'm on the page with everyone that we have to be very careful with our social media. And social media is an influencer. Yeah. And it's going to influence one way or the other. But I find, because I've trained my algorithm, like how to train your dragon, I want to do a video on how to train your algorithm to only send you things that you want to see.
Yes.
I don't get all those other things. Now, every once in a while, I'm looking for something and I'll go to the search bar and there'll be all this stuff. And I'll be like, oh, don't look at that because then they think I like that because it tracks your eyes even. You know, I'm like, don't look at that. And so I'm just up here typing in my thing. And then like, there'll be something down there. I'm like, nah, I want to look at that. What is that? Don't look at it.
It's so true.
But the moment social media sends me something that I don't want, I turn off my social media. I don't just look away. I don't just go to another page. I actually leave and then we'll come back. And what social media has learned about me, don't show Mary these things because she leaves and we don't want her to leave because she buys a lot of stuff. Yes, we need to keep her here. We need to show her a bunch of shoes or whatever it is, you know. And so don't send her stuff on this, or this. It has learned.
Yeah.
I've taught it how to train my social media.
Yeah. And
so
in your mind is so powerful, right?
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
So putting it out there. And so as you've grown this, what would you say are maybe one or two of the tips, the thought processes that you want women to kind of align with that help them see vision for who they are?
That's a good question. You know, I feel like for me at least, and I can only speak to myself and my experiences and also women that, you know, I chat with every single day. But I think that we are so ingrained to always want to be someone different. We are so ingrained to want to look like someone else. We're so ingrained to think someone else's life is better. And I try really hard to show women that it's not perfect. Like, you are going to scroll on social media and you are going to say, wow, that person's house is amazing. And I'm happy for them, but also you're going to scroll and be like, why is my life not like that? Right? We really compare. And so I've really tried hard on my social media for women to understand that everyone has a struggle. Everyone is going through something. Now, if someone chooses not to talk about that, that's great. I've been really open on my page because I feel like people will look and make judgments, right? They make judgments about someone's life. You never know what someone's going through. And I think that's the power of social media is you have two choices with a platform. One, you can just be like, this is all the amazing things that are happening to me. And that is great. It's a highlight reel, right? But also you have the power with social media to change lives. And that is using your platform to talk about things that really matter to women, making women feel seen, because a lot of us do not feel seen, especially in our age group. And then also using your platform to talk about your struggles so that other women know they're not alone. I have been in a time in my life where I felt extremely alone. Like, I sat in my closet. I can tell you a moment that I sat in my closet and I cried and I felt like I had no one there to understand me. And I talk to women on the daily that feel that way. So it's been one of my goals in life to show up authentically in that respect, so women do not feel alone. And if I was not doing that, I wouldn't find joy in my platform. I could show tips all day long, but if I'm not helping someone feel seen, then my job's not done, in my opinion. I feel like I've been given this platform, I've been given a purpose, and I just want women to know, like, this is not, there's no, you're seeing a highlight reel. This is not real life. And so I don't know if I answered your question, but my goal would be for women to feel seen.
I love that. It is probably one of the greatest gifts on social media that you can give someone on a platform that is billions of people.
Yeah.
That they feel individually seen.
Yeah.
I really try and respond to all of the people that reach out or that say something, and I still respond personally. If I had as many followers as you, I think that would be very hard for me, but I really try. I want people to be seen. And when I look at my feed or the responses, before I start reading through the messages, I always ask, please let me see. Mm-hmm. That's a simple thing. And inevitably there'll be one or two that just, I can feel their pain.
Yeah.
Or I can feel their desire to step out of this locked in place.
Yeah.
And when we can do that,
yeah,
that makes it all worth it.
It really does. I mean, I think the goal in life is to not feel alone, right? Like, I feel like we've literally, I don't know. For me, my whole life, I've been this outgoing person that people think I have, this perfect situation in everything. But like, the moments that I have felt most alone were the moments I wanted someone to see me. And I feel like there's so many women, especially as we hit, perimenopause and menopause. I talk a lot about that on my page as well. You're changing. You're different. Your body's not the same. Your marriage might look a little different. Your relationships look different. And let's talk about that. Let's like be real and have that conversation. Like I said, my makeup page is great. I love that. It's fun. But what really is important to me is women feeling like they're not alone. So yeah, it's crazy. I respond to all my messages. I mean, I do my best. There's obviously ones I miss because we know how it is. But I have an assistant. She doesn't do any of that. That's personal to me. So I go through and I do all of that. And I'll send voice messages all the time to people. People are like, oh my gosh, you responded? I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm here for. Like this, I don't take this lightly. Like I don't take what I've been given lightly. So yeah, it's really cool.
I love that authenticity. That is really what we want on social media. And that's why you have the number of followers you have, is people are drawn to authenticity. They're not drawn, I guess some people are, though, drawn to that look of the perfect life.
Yeah.
And I recently in June went and spent 2 weeks in Ukraine and
Amazing.
Serving and just being there and helping. And when I came back, the hardest thing for me was to look at social media and see all the, hi,
Yeah.
I just was like, oh my God, people, life is so much more than this. And so sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
But I also accept people for where they are in their own life. Mm-hmm. And I try not to judge them, because if I'm judging them, I'm ultimately judging me.
Yep. 100%.
And if I live in that place of acceptance, then I can also accept them where they are.
We're all here learning, right? We're all here learning. We're all trying to do our best. I truly believe we're all trying to do our best. But we're all in different places, right? And so it's so easy on social media to be scrolling and start making judgments about people when you really have no clue what their stories are. And sometimes if we just sit down, even in real life, you walk by someone and you're like, that person has it all together. You can just tell, but you sit down with them and you actually hear their story. Like you hear them, they probably don't, right? Like,
right.
They probably don't. So
I remember I was on someone's podcast here locally, and I had seen her life as really, can I just say close to the word perfect?
Yeah.
They have a beautiful home and they have beautiful children and they do what they want, and she's beautiful, he's beautiful, the children are beautiful, and I just thought, ooh, our lives just have been like this, because people know my life has not been a bed of roses. But that's okay. I'm sure she's had her own struggles. I thought in the back of my mind, I'm sure she has, right? But when I sat down with her on her podcast, Christina became one of the most real people that I have ever met. And all the struggles that she had gone through, and her struggles with, getting pregnant and their children. And I had no idea. And to give people that benefit of the doubt is really a gift that we can give to them. 100%. And see people as real. People oftentimes say, and I'm sure they say this to you because that you made the comment that referenced this, Mary, you're so photogenic, you don't take a bad picture. And my response is always, well, duh, I don't post the bad ones.
Right? I know. And so you're like, how many selfies did it take to get there, right?
Right. And I just posted my story over the weekend of all these fun things that I had done with my husband because I really needed some healing, some self-healing time. I'd just gone through going to Ukraine. A close friend of mine died. I was in the hospital for 3 days and I just felt drained.
Yeah.
And so I posted pictures about our weekend spent together and our love of healing each other. And one picture was on the pickleball court, and I just thought, I can't post that. I thought, what about that you can't post? Of course you can post that. You know, that's all right. You know, you're 72, for crying out loud. What do you want to look?
Playing pickleball. That's amazing, right? Like
sweating, you know, hair's pushed back. You know.
I love that. I try to make it a goal to post bad pictures, though. I really do. Like, I will try that a lot because, like, no one's perfect. Like,
no one.
We're in the right angles. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, unless you're trying, you're not going to be at a good angle.
How many times can you twirl around and find the right lighting like this? You know,
exactly. It's so true.
And when I took that picture on the pickleball court, it was noon. The sun was right overhead, and I kept looking. I'm like, there's nothing. Click. You know, take it. Whatever.
But did you remember the memory, right? That memory
of like, this is real life. Yeah. I'm not in the perfect shading. I don't have my light wand with me. Seriously. All right, girl. As we kind of wind down the podcast now, I would really like you to dig deep.
Okay.
And I want you to share with women that piece that you feel has been your greatest learning experience or principle that now you are so grateful for and that really has shaped you.
I feel like, so there's a lot. It's hard to choose just one.
Well, you can choose 2 or 3. This is not like.
I'll give you a couple. How about that?
Okay, I like that.
I won't make it long. But so I came from a family that we grew up without any money whatsoever. We would shop at garage sales, for my clothes. My parents, my dad was a minister growing up. And so he, we were led by faith a lot in my little upbringing. And I've always believed in the power of life will always bring you what you need. And there are hard moments with that when you really I get emotional about this because I really do try to live my life knowing that no matter what comes to you in life, there's a lesson and there's a reason you're going through it, even when it feels really hard and it feels really heavy. My son was born with a heart defect. He had to have open heart surgery at a week old. So for me, it was very welcome to parenting, welcome to motherhood at a very scary situation. Yeah. And I have a lot of people that are on my page. I've shared his heart journey with he's 18 now, with his permission. I always make sure my kids are okay with it, but it's helped so many women because a lot of people say, how can you look at that as a blessing or how can you find joy in that? And for me, going through that, it was one of the hardest things my husband and I had to go through together, but also one of the hardest things I had to go through. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of not understanding. There was a lot of, why is this happening? How am I supposed to still be happy while this is going on? And for me, it was always my parents always taught me find the good in everything, right? And during that time in my life, I realized it's okay to not always be okay. And you don't have to always show up and pretend you are. I'm that people pleaser. I've always been. So I always felt like I had to show up with a smile so that I didn't make someone else feel unhappy. But during that time, I wasn't happy and I was angry, and I never let myself feel emotions until probably that time in my life. And so through going through that, he's doing great now, which is great. I mean, there's a lot of stresses with him. He had a really rare genetic, it wasn't even genetic actually. It was just a really rare congenital heart issue. So we still see a doctor all the time. So our lives are very medical. We are always in a doctor's office, I feel like, with him. But what I found was the biggest blessing from going through a situation like that, finding good, was watching him be so resilient. And sorry, I get emotional because it's like one of those things that, like, you can look at things in your life as a really bad thing, but you can also look at things in your life as a way that you can help other people. And watching him just be so resilient and accepting of whatever life throws at him, I wish I could be more like that, and I think I have. It's slow, but watching that has taught me so much about life is just not perfect, and your story matters. And the more that you accept what's going on instead of fight, there's reasons for everything you're going through. And I look at him because he is, like I said, he's in the doctor's office all the time. He's out and back, and all he wants to do in life is play baseball. There were so many times in life that people said, you cannot do this. You will never be a baseball player. You can't play sports. And he defied the odds. He's actually going to college to go be a pitcher. And to watch how he's changed and like overcome so much, and he's still overcoming it. It's not in the clear, but like he's following his dreams. And I just want to leave everyone with that message. No matter where you're at in life, you can always change. You can always find the purpose of why you're going through things. It takes time. It's not easy. There's still moments I'm mad that he has to go through what he's going through. There's still moments that I'm mad that, we all went through this and we're still going through this. I don't understand the why, but you can always find a purpose, and that purpose will be brought to you. You just have to share your story. And he shares his story with so many people, and I'm so proud of him. He's proud of his story. I think so many of us can be really not proud of our stories. But our stories are who makes us what we are. And I don't know if I answered your question.
Totally.
Did I? Okay.
Yes.
I got really emotional. I'm sorry.
I love that. That's the best part. That's the vulnerability piece. Yeah. That's the gift that you give to us and to yourself.
Yeah.
To be able to stand naked and say, this is me. And I'm not perfect. But I trust you to see me through my pain.
Yeah.
And you trust yourself.
Yeah.
To be able to stand through your pain. I often think people equate struggle with failure.
100%. Yes.
And struggle is not failure.
No.
It is struggle that builds resilience. 100%. That's that quality that you talked about in your son. Yes. And without his struggle, his resilience would be like, don't give me any problems. I'm just about beach bum. It's like, but look at him. Look how strong he's become. Yeah. You wouldn't want him to be anybody else. And if you took away those struggles, if we used our magic mother wand, no struggles for you.
Which I would love to, but no.
But then look, who knows who he would be? He would not be this person.
No, he wouldn't. And honestly, the way he accepts life is how I would love to be, right? Like, no matter what's thrown at him, he literally will say, I accept that. I accept it. And I think that's really hard. That's hard. And I think that's what spurred me to continue on to do what I'm doing and to help other women, is because I watch how he is just living his life in the moment. That's so important to me. It's just like, live in the moment. You're going to have hard times. You're going to have pain. You're going to have struggles. It's not easy. Life is not easy. But our stories are what matters, and our stories can change lives. And so telling those stories, never stop telling your story. It's just so important.
Yeah. Life doesn't get to be easy, but through our struggles, we can learn to live life with ease.
Yeah.
Through the struggle. I think that's the biggest gift that he has learned. He's learned to live life with ease because of his struggles.
Yeah.
As I have, as you are, Lauren.
Yeah.
To my listeners, I hope that you look on her resources, follow Lauren, buy her fun book. The name of it again is Put on Your Lipstick.
Yeah, Girl, Put on Your Lipstick. The World Needs You. A Guide to Living Unapologetically and Authentically You in Your 40s and Beyond.
I love that. I love that. It's kind of like what I always say at the end of whenever I speak somewhere. Okay, girls, let's put on your big girl panties. We got this, you know.
We got this. 100%.
And you live close to me. You live in Idaho, so it's close to Salt Lake. You live in Pocatello, and I hope that I have the opportunity that our lives might cross again. Who knows? We might find ourselves on the same stage someday, and that would be
amazing.
Totally amazing. All right, Lauren, and thank you for being with us today as we've crafted our meaningful lives. And so many of the lessons that she talked about, the lessons of resilience and that being built through struggle, and to reflect who you feel inside on your outside, to be unabashedly unashamed for who you want to be. And if you want to wear makeup, you go, girl. You put on that makeup, put on that lipstick. I do it every day. In fact, 4 or 5 times a day, I put on my lipstick. And if you want more references, please check the end of the podcast, and everything about Lauren will be there. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today and for being authentically you.
Oh, well,
I
thank you for
appreciate
having me.
it.
I appreciate it.
All right, until next time, remember that crafting a meaningful life happens every day, starting anew with looking at what's in front of you and which direction your feet are pointed today, and are they taking you to where you want to be. Live life in crescendo. Namaste.
Crafting a meaningful life.